Good afternoon, I'm Colette Linden.
And I'm Danny Dupuis. Welcome to the Special Report PM Edition.
PM Edition.
Hello.
So speaking of the PM, we are not going to him. We're going to go to the Premier, who is, I'm pretty sure you're going to see the split screen shortly. We're waiting for 2-Minute Tommy to stand up and let us know if we've got one of these or not. And in 3, 2, 1, what's going on? Ah, look at that. That was a perfect countdown.
Oh, that was.
He's not there yet. We have not seen the guy come and tell us to get ready. So while we're waiting, why don't we talk a little bit about the weather?
Yeah, absolutely. So as many of you can see outside, it is beautiful. It's sunny. It's not too warm right now. Currently, we're sitting at 6 with a low of 0. I will say though, heading into the evening, it is going to go down to about -2 today. So be prepared for that. On Tuesday and Wednesday, I know,
how do you prepare for that?
Sorry, people. And then we go back to Tuesday, Wednesday, it's a mix of sun and clouds, both of them being a high of 8. And then on Tuesday, never mind. I will continue my weather after, but we are going to go straight into the premiere.
Well, good afternoon. We're moving in the right direction, and we need to keep going. And we can't stop now. We must stay strong. Our hospitals have capacity, our team is stockpiling PPE, and our testing strategy has allowed us to stay ahead of this virus. Because the sooner we can detect COVID-19, the sooner we can stop the spread and protect others from the infection. A few weeks ago, on April the 10th, I stood at this podium and promised you that we were going to ramp up our testing. We set a target of 16,000 tests per day by May the 6th. And thanks to our incredible team, thanks to the hard-working folks in our health system, we beat that target. And just over 20 days later, by May the 1st, we hit 17,000 tests a day. The good news is we're leading the country in daily testing volumes, both in total tests and per capita. Over 342,000 tests have been completed in Ontario to date. These gains are significant, but we still have a lot of work to do. We will not rest on our laurels. That's why we remain laser focused on ensuring we're testing our most vulnerable. We rapidly increase testing in our long-term care homes. We're testing those in group homes, homeless shelters, women's shelters, and other congregate settings. And as the key trends head in the right direction and the health system continue to be strengthened, it gives us confidence. It gives us the confidence that we can adapt. It gives us the confidence that we can reopen more places safely, knowing our health professionals have our backs. It gives us the confidence that we're getting close to opening parks, that we're getting close to opening retail for curbside pickup. It gives us the confidence that we're on the right track, that collectively, as a province, we're doing the right things and we're taking the right steps, that we're beating this terrible, terrible virus. And it tells us that we can't stop now. We need to continue looking out for each other. We need to keep taking the health advice seriously. We need to stay vigilant, and if we do, if we stay the course, we will defeat this virus. We can and we will. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. I'll pass it over to Deputy Premier. Thank you.
Thank you, Premier, and good afternoon, everyone. When we first announced COVID-19 testing targets, 4,000 tests were being conducted per day. On Thursday, April 30th, we reached well over 16,000 tests in a day, nearly a week ahead of our target for 16,000 tests per day by May 6th. We did so by forming a province-wide COVID-19 testing network that includes over 20 organizations. This has allowed us to eliminate the backlog of 11,000 tests and then turn our focus to testing priority groups and vulnerable populations, including every resident and staff member in a long-term care home. Indeed, expanding testing is critical to containing and limiting the spread of this new virus, both in our communities and in long-term care homes and other shared living spaces. We are now a leader in Canada in daily testing per capita and rank among the top globally. Still, we continue to invest in further expanding our COVID-19 testing. Our strategy is focused on maximizing testing capacity by working as an integrated lab testing network across the province. This is being achieved through daily check-ins and processes designed to address the need for supplies, test turnaround times, alternative approaches to processing, and emerging technology. The integration of our laboratory network will serve as an enduring legacy once this outbreak is over, and a great example of how we can strengthen our healthcare system through integration to better serve and protect the people of Ontario. Thank you.
We'll go to the phone line for questions. Just a reminder, one question, one follow-up. First question.
First question comes from Martin Reg Cohen from the Toronto Star. Please go ahead.
Hello, my question is for the Premier. You've talked a lot about the impact of the pandemic on our nursing homes and how you want to fix it. What's your personal view about the ownership of nursing homes? Given what's going on.
Hey, welcome back.
Hello.
That was great, the announcement. He's really ramped up the testing and he seems really positive. Thanks to Doug Ford again for just addressing us and keeping us informed and communicating such fantastic news and really putting our province on the top of Canada. But before we went to Doug, we were talking about weather. Did you want to finish that? Although I think we all tuned out when you said -4. What's up with that? It's May.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on, but it's going to be getting colder. So as we were talking about, Tuesday tomorrow, it is going to be a high of 8 with a low of 2. And then going into Wednesday, it's going to be a high of 8 with a low of 0. So for those overnights, everyone, it is going to get a little bit colder. So if you got those extra blankets, pull them out. I know it's looking like summer out there,
but someone you love.
Yes. For me, it's the dog.
How about you, Chris? Who do you snuggle up with? Better be his girlfriend or he's in trouble.
I guess so. Sure, I'll go with my girlfriend.
Right.
He can't say anything because she cut his hair.
I was just going to say that.
She's also my hairdresser, so I have to be extremely careful because she's the one with the razors. So
she could clearly clip the back and you wouldn't even know.
Oh yeah, she could she could write something back there.
I'm going to message her while you're talking right now. Anyways, go ahead. What do you got for us?
Thank you. Today in my segment, I'm going to play an interview from an infectious disease specialist from Superior Hospital, Dr. Lucas Castanelli, who I interviewed about a week and a half ago. And he's going to explain to us what contact tracing is, because I think that's important to know. And the video is queued up, so let's see that video. The last few cases here in Algoma District, and actually the last two have actually been in the Sault Ste. Marian area, were community transmission. Can you explain to our audience what contact tracing is?
Yeah, so contact tracing is an important public health, and sometimes actually in hospital we use it. It's a technique where you're basically trying to find out who potentially could have an infection. So what happens is, you find out that there's a case of an infection, whether or not that be something like tuberculosis or in this case COVID, and that person would be called the index case, right? So you have this person identified and you want to know who could have given it to them and who could they have potentially spread it to while they were infectious. And so what happens is work within the hospital or even through public health is done to find out who are those people that are connected to the individual, and they call them and they sort of get more background information. And that's how they can sort of build a story on how this sort of came about or how it spread through a community potentially. And they can also sort of identify people who maybe haven't had symptoms or haven't been sick yet, so they can be screened properly. They could be isolated if needed, and they could be cared for. So that's what contact tracing is.
And that was Dr. Lucas Castanelli. He is the infectious disease specialist at Superior Hospital, and he's also a professor with the Northern Ontario School of Medicine. And if you want to see that full interview, it's on YouTube, and it was on there on April 22nd. So you can back and watch the full interview if you'd like of my interview with him. Now, so we have some good news here, both in Algoma and Ontario. We still have just one positive case right now in all of Algoma District that's still positive. We've had 12 people recover of the 13 people who tested positive. However, there is some promising news in the numbers from Ontario. Unfortunately, yesterday was our second highest day for deaths at 84. The most we've had die in a single day was 86. But our amount of hospitalizations is down, the amount of people in ICU is down, and the number of people on ventilators is down. So we're actually seeing a little bit of a curve going down in our total new cases. Like just yesterday, we only had 370 new cases, which is the first time it's been below 400 in quite a long time. And actually, over the last week, we've only had 2 days where we've been above 500 new cases. So as far as cases go, that's a good sign because we also are testing more people than we had before. So the amount of people testing positive as a percentage of the amount of tests we're actually doing is actually way down. Now, some of this is because we're testing our frontline workers and we're testing people in long-term care homes. So we're just making sure that the virus is not spreading amongst the people who are most vulnerable, because 75% of the people who are passing away in Ontario from COVID-19 are in long-term care homes. So right now, and also about long-term care homes, it has now jumped up to 212 long-term care homes in Ontario that are presently have COVID-19 outbreaks. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Chris. Awesome stuff. We are sponsored by Casey Security, and later in today's show, I had the privilege of interviewing Dan LaPrade, one of my faves, on Friday. So we're going to air that at the 5 o'clock newscast, but we're also going to show about a minute and a half of it today too. And yeah, we want to thank Dan for that. But we are sponsored by Casey Security, and quickly, we just wanted to talk a couple things birthday related. So we have some international followers, but more importantly, I have some international family, and most of my family live in Scotland. So I just wanted to send some special loves and hugs to my cousins, Jacqueline and Campbell Finlay. There they are, my beautiful cousin Jacqueline, her husband Campbell, who's an awesome guy. And they are married, and they share the same birthday, which happens to be today. So may the 4th be with them every day.
What are the odds
But
of
isn't that a couple made in heaven when you meet somebody who has the same birthday? So love you guys. Happy birthday.
I mean, you can't forget. So we're glad about that. You can't forget. And speaking of birthdays, we had last night, someone sent in to us birthday wishes for George Shire, who reached a milestone birthday. Nice. So we're going to be showing the video. He turned 80.
He looks pretty damn
And
good
his friends
for
and
80.
family drove by for a drive-by parade. It was a surprise. No, it's great.
That's awesome. And you know what? Just to add to that, we saw that they had 35 cards as part of their convoy. So how cool is that?
That's awesome. Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We hope your 80th was great.
Yeah, it looks like it was. So we'll be right back after this commercial break. We've got lots for you today.
A message from the Government of Canada.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
At Maitland Ford Lincoln, we see our trucks everywhere. We see them on Queen Street, Lake Street, North Street, Bay Street, 2nd line, 3rd line, 4th line, Pine Street, Great Northern Peoples Road, Wellington, Cora Road, Bruce Street, Carmen's Way, Northern Ave, Trunk Road. Folks come from all over Algoma District and beyond to buy their truck at Maitland Ford Lincoln. Amazing prices, outstanding service. King Street, Shannon Road, Goulet Bay, Black Road, Government Road, and even on Pine Shores. Yep, our trucks are everywhere. Get yours at Maitland Ford Lincoln, built for Northern life, on Great Northern Road, just north of the hospital.
welcome back. It is Mental Health Week, and we're going to touch on that shortly. But Danny, you had wanted to mention something about a honking parade.
Yeah, and moving in with COVID-19, everyone's taken to start these honk parades and as well as appreciation parades. So we just wanted to let everyone know that the Search and Rescue are having a honk parade on May 6th. They're leaving their, they're going to be driving through the town. They're going to start at all the they're starting at the hospital and the JF Davy home. And here's some right there. So that's what it's going to look like. They're starting at 2 o'clock from Search and Rescue and are making their way to all the hospitals and all the nursing homes.
That's so nice. So was this part of the convoy that happened
at
Vandale?
Yes, it was.
Manor.
There it is. There we go, right into Vandale.
Oh, that's so nice. And they had that at 2:30 on Friday.
And Search and Rescue was there as well too.
Yeah, and you know what? It's crazy because they were a part of the whole First Responders Day, but yet they were there honoring those who were working at the Vandale Manor. So awesome community support, awesome stuff.
Love it.
So let's talk a little bit about mental health. So we had, as you know, this week is Mental Health Week. We had a couple of announcements actually came directly from the Premier's office as well as the Prime Minister's office that I wanted to take the time and share. From the Prime Minister, he was just saying, he acknowledges that today is the beginning of Mental Health Week. And right now, we need to support those who are, maybe we're not in contact with them enough, but a lot of people have a problem with, going through the social distancing and spending time alone, which increases mental health awareness and which would increase some help for mental awareness. So the government did offer additional mental health support to all Canadians through a new online portal called Wellness Together Canada, and we wanted to make sure that gets out there. So Google that, Wellness Together Canada, or go to canada.ca for more information. Whether you're feeling stressed or sad or dealing maybe with some substance abuse and you need some help, there's extra help there. And same with the Premier. I mean, he made they have a roadmap to wellness, a plan to build Ontario's mental health and addiction system. So there's that too. But I know, Chris, you were saying something that they added some new programs. I'm not too sure if I touched upon that, but maybe you might want to clarify.
Yeah, I mean, over the last few weeks, the government has been putting in more money into mental health. One of the main things that they've been doing is they've been hiring more people to work on the actual helplines, actual therapists, because a lot of these therapists are not able to do their practice right now because of social distancing and what is defined as an essential service. So, but they are still able to do help on the phone for people who are having problems right now. I mean, a lot of people are isolated and they're either seeing the same 1 or 2 or 3 people every single day for weeks on end now, and others are completely alone. So there's a lot of stress that goes on in people's lives, and there's a rise in things like domestic violence and things like that as well, which are also mental health issues too. So there's a lot of need out there right now, and it is good that the Ford government has been putting more and more money into that over the last few weeks, and the federal government has also been helping out as well.
Awesome stuff. Now, Danny, you wanted to mention, obviously children are a big concern, and unfortunately on the rise is abuse, child abuse as well, but there's also really a lot of danger around children who suffer from mental abuse, and you wanted to touch on that today.
Algova Family Services just released a new press release. It's called The Sky's the Limit for Children's Mental Health Week. And even just reading this, it just amazes me how many children do suffer from mental health that go unrecognized. And even in this, it's 28,000 children in the province. Like, that's just such a big heavy-hitting number and something that should be talked about. So with this press release, Algoma Services partnered with Canadian Mental Health Association, Nogda Windemund, Strong Minds Arch, and Early On Child and Family Services. And what they're doing from May 4th until May 10th is they're offering different services online as well. So leading up for the week, there's going to be a drumming ceremony by First Nations. We have infant mental health event on Wednesday. It's via Zoom interview, and you can access this through their website. There's also going to be a concert on May 7th. There's lots of different things that they're doing right now, and they also want to encourage right now for Mental Health Week to put a green ribbon or anything green in your window, because that's the color that symbolizes it. Water Tower Inn, they're going to be displaying their huge water tower in green throughout the week.
That's so cool.
It's really awesome to see that.
Also, we have an interview with Amanda Lambert, and she is a business owner of Strong Minds, And she's doing a couple things. She's got a new platform out for to help those with who need some help with mental
she's great.
health. And she's awesome. So I'm interviewing her tomorrow. But she's also doing her annual run. This is her third run. Obviously, this year we can't do it. It was at Roberta Bondar. She's asking for a $20 donation, and it's virtual. And by that, she means treadmill. Take your kids out, maybe do your run. Just add that part of your run, but donate $20, and we will have that link up for you. Which brings me to another point, Chris. If you want to introduce our new idea that we'd like to kick off tomorrow morning.
Yes, thank you. So Giving Tuesday starts tomorrow, and what we're going to be doing here with our show, and we're going to be mentioning I'll mention on my show at night as well, is that we're going to pick 2 charities a week, and we're going to promote what that charity does, and we're going to provide a link directly through to the charity's website so you can donate there. They'll all be local charities here in Algoma and Sault Ste. Marie. And we'll also be connecting that to our In This Together SSM hashtag as well, which is where we're also mentioning things about businesses in the area and what they're doing during this COVID-19 pandemic. And so we're going to announce our first one tomorrow, and tomorrow's Giving Tuesday, so we'll have some more info on 2 other ones we're going to talk about tomorrow as well.
Great. And I'll give you a little inside tip. It's something that's near and dear to my heart. So most of my friends and family know it's cystic fibrosis, but we'll have more information there tomorrow. Why don't you touch on YMCA?
Oh, awesome. So today I had an interview with Tracy Cook and as well as Erica Tucker. And for those who, I'm not sure if you are familiar with the Y, you all know who Erica is. She's always bopping around from fitness to fitness class, big and bubbly. No, she's great.
Fun.
She is. She's so much fun. And even we were laughing on the interview because Tracy just exited out so quickly, not even get a chance to say goodbye.
Oh, I know who
and
you're
Erica's
talking.
oh, it's just me, Tracy left. But in this interview that we had with them, they are really turning everything so different. They've gone completely virtual. So they're offering the YMCA at home, and you can go in. They have all these different classes. They're also offering different assistance, and there's different resources. So they did touch upon Mental Health Week and children, and they also touched upon, if you're an essential worker, there are there are child care services. So there they are right there. And they just wanted you to know that if you are an essential worker and you need these childcare services, there's an application on the website that you can go to and apply for it. And they also just wanted to touch upon, Giving Tuesday. Right now the YMCA has a campaign going called Stay With Us, and money is being raised to go towards different associations dealing with mental health. So it was really great to see. And I believe we'll be viewing the interview on Wednesday, and you can again find it on our YouTube. It was a really great interview.
Awesome.
And they're so good. And Erica was telling us too, she does all new live videos, so there was one at 12:15, and she goes, it's really weird because it's just me by myself up here, but I feel like all my crowd is still there. So she's still getting messages from people saying thank you. So
that must be weird when you used to have your class in front of you. Sorry to cut you off. When I talked to Holly on the week, Holly and Fatou on the week or last week, and she's saying I have 300 people that are out there following her. But I'm like, it must be so weird because you're just talking into your
Erica was funny because she's like, I clap when the class is over, but I'm the only one clapping.
Is anybody else clapping? We don't know.
No.
Just one last thing on the Mental Health Week. We are really happy to use this platform to engage and to talk about mental health and to help other charities in the town. But we want to get you to use #GetReal. That is what CMHA is using this week for their Canadian Mental Health Week. Okay, so that's your #GetReal. So let's get real. We will be back after this commercial break. We are going to talk about what the other provinces are doing to roll out and what Sault Ste. Marie is going to look like in a couple weeks, perhaps. I want to touch on minor hockey. We'll be right back after this commercial break. welcome back. So quickly, we're going to do some sports. We have some local sports, we have some professional sports, and Danny and I are both sports freaks and sportscasters by trade. So let's do that quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead. Let's start. We've got some post-secondary sports update for you.
We have Algoma University announced their male athlete of the year and as well as their female athlete of the year. So female athlete goes to Carly Franzelina. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. She is a women's basketball forward. She's her fourth year.
Oh, good
she's
for her.
A second all-time scorer on the team, and she's also the team captain. So way to go, Carly. And we also want to recognize Brody Collison, who is the male student athlete of the year, and also Collins has also received the only third U Sports medal for Algoma University.
Congratulations.
And he captured OUA gold medal in wrestling. So great job.
That's awesome.
Great
What about
job.
Sioux College?
And
I know
in
they've got a
Sioux
new hockey
College,
coach.
They do. They just announced that Brian Veal is their new women's hockey coach.
Yeah.
And they also announced their athletes of the year. So we have Ryan Verderman.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Men's
the hockey
hockey.
player in town.
And then Michaela Caputo on women's soccer. So congratulations to those athletes. You know, it's unfortunate that your year maybe didn't go quite as well, but it's really great to see, and we wish you guys all the best for your upcoming years.
Congrats. It does suck. I remember when we had our athletic banquets, and it was the highlight of the end of the year,
I know.
right? It was always a huge party too. But over to the NASCAR party, like I said earlier, if I had to choose another occupation, it would have been a race
Easiest
driver.
sport to follow when you're drunk.
Oh yeah. So
I've driven with Colette. I think she's still practicing.
and we'll get back to that, Christopher. Anyway, so NASCAR is coming back on May the 17th.
Oh, my dad's going to be so happy.
So we're going to have some sports. And
Well,
I
if you
believe
call turning left a sport, I mean,
Okay, come on. Throw me a bone here, people. We've got some sports, but more importantly, let's talk Toronto Maple Leafs.
She's been waiting for this all day.
Toronto Maple Leafs. We have signed, because yes, when you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, you are part of the whole entity, and it's we have signed a new Finnish defenseman. His name is Mikko Lehtinen. So he's signed to a 1-year contract, entry-level contract for the 2021 season. And as Chris said,
how's he getting there? Like, is he canoeing over or using a
We're
kayak?
not quite sure, but let's hope this Finnish player has some excellent
Maybe
Finnish.
he could talk to Greta Thunberg and see if he could borrow her boat.
Okay.
That's your favorite person, Chris.
Okay, so that we're going to wrap up sports. But you know what? We're really excited that maybe we'll have some more sports, and we're hoping that PGA might be added to that hopefully soon too, right?
Yeah.
And just so
supposedly
everybody
June.
knows, NASCAR, there will not be anybody in the stands. It's just simply the drivers turning left, as Chris so
A left turn!
crazily pointed out to
Turn
us.
left!
Yeah, so a couple other things. We've got a couple closures for Cathcart between Brown and John. It's going to be closed for 16 weeks beginning Monday, May 11th at 7 a.m. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knows about that. And that's all I have. Oh, and Leaf and Yard Waste collection has been, there's a little bit of changes to that. That is posted on SiouxOnline.com. And we'd like to thank Casey Security for their sponsorship. Before we say au revoir for Monday afternoon, Chris, do you have anything else you'd like to update the city of Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma with?
Yes. Tonight on my show, I'll be talking about beef production in Canada, because right now 2 of our big beef plants are actually closed, and they're trying to reopen them up. And I'll also be talking about Donald Trump and vaccines and how many people are expected to pass away from COVID-19 in America. And I'll have more on that at 7 p.m. tonight on The Chris Oldcorn Show.
Awesome. Make sure you guys watch Chris at 7, watch the newscast at 5. I'm sorry to Dan LaPrade. We do have your Casey Security video. We will play it, but it will be played at 5 o'clock. We ran out of time, and we had potatoes.
We had so much to talk about today.
We had potatoes. We'll have to talk potatoes and Casey Security tomorrow. Have an awesome Monday night.
See ya.